What is going on, guys? Winter Kills here, and welcome to a brand new test hand video for Atlantean Mermails. You guys have requested this as per the poll I took on my community tab the other day, so we're going to follow up with that, and I'll be getting to Speedroids a bit later in the week. I've got the deck over here. I'm getting ready to film that at some point, but I appreciate you guys for all the feedback on that poll. Yeah, but without further ado, we're going to go ahead and do some test hands with the Atlantean Mermail deck here. And we'll see what we can pull off. Typically in the past for going second decks, I've done, mock boards to play against. And I think we'll try to keep something along the lines of that for this video. The list is pretty much exactly the same as the last profile I did. The only changes I've made is I've added in 2 copies of More Agreed to replace the old Pot of Desires, because I figured it'd just make more sense if I played the Pot of Desires. So yeah, so we're gonna go ahead and get into this. I'm gonna shuffle the deck a little bit more. It's already pretty much shuffled as is, and we'll see what we can make work, what kind of fields we can pull off. We'll start off by going second and see what we can do. We'll go against like a typical Orcust board, ending on the Galatea Ding with set Climax. We'll play it out as that way. So I'll put up some sort of representation on the screen of what the end board we're trying to play against is, and see if we can crack it at all and try to either OTK or leave ourselves in a winning position. So first card here we're drawing is Heavy Infantry, a copy of Phantasme, a copy of Pike, a copy of Pike, and a copy of Monster Reborn. So we would have Phantasmade them, presumably. They're going to be summoning Galatea. We're going to be able to get a draw there, so we'll be able to draw into Megalo and Teus. I'm easily going to put back one of the Pikes because we don't need that card. So Phantasme doing its job here and fixing our hand. It's exactly what we needed to do. Now, I would play Extravagance, but, like, A, it's expensive, and B, it takes a lot of utility out of the extra deck. Not that that utility is 100% needed, as we've seen in previous builds that people have been playing Extravagance and things like that. But I just don't feel comfortable sacrificing a lot of the utility that comes from the extra deck. So, anyways, we'll start off with this hand here, and we'll draw into an Aqua Spirit for turn. Not terrible, not great. Now, we do have Monster Reborn, which means we do have access to take something out of their graveyard, but usually in cases like this, they may have another Galatea engraved, which is something we could try to take advantage of. They wouldn't presumably have Babel and Climax both set up, so that is an obstacle. We can sort of pick and choose how that will play out. We don't have any other starters in our hand other than the Pike, so that's probably what I would start with. Unfortunately, we had to discard the Infantry, which Ding is just going to save it, and they're not going to waste a Climax on that to begin with anyways. So we'll start with Pike. We will discard the Infantry, and then we'll use this effect here to search. I don't see them negating this effect, to be totally honest. We'll go ahead and add a copy of Gund. And from here, we're going to have to make some suboptimal plays. I'm just trying to gather what cards could be in a typical graveyard of Orcust. Because granted, this is something I could see them burning the Climax on, the Monster Reborn, because if they would have a Galatea engraved, because most boards usually end on multiple Galateas, at least have gone through multiple Galateas in the first turn, so we could potentially try to Monster Reborn here for the Galatea, because that could get us right into a Boral Sword or a Borreload, because that's a free link too for us to work with, which would leave them, out of luck. So we'll Monster Reborn here, and for the sake of the video, we'll say they go ahead and use the Climax on the Monster Reborn. So that will get negated. Otherwise, they give us a free link too to do whatever we want with. Now from here, it comes to what do we do next? That is a good question. So from here, I'm probably going to start with the Teus and go ahead and discard the... Discard the Aqua Spirit. As much as I want to keep Aqua Spirit, I'm going to discard it, so we can add another level 4 or lower Mermail monster from our deck to our hand. And I'm going to add Abyss Dying, and we're not going to use its effect, because we're going to use its other effect instead, where we can revive itself, revive another level 3 or lower Mermail from our grave, if it is special summoned by a Mermail. So now we'll summon the Megalo. And we'll discard these cards. We'll use our chain links as follows. Chain link 2, chain link 1. We'll go ahead and search for our Mizuchi. And let's grab that. And then Gund will special summon this. And we actually don't have room to special summon the... I guess we could change that. Probably would be best to link these two off into Alacia. Because we can do that. Link those off into Alacia. Then do the same play. I would still most likely revive the Dine here, just because we'll get more cards out of it. We can still make a rank 7 though, regardless. I wish we could do both here, but we really can't. So we'll summon Dine, or Dine will summon, be summoned off of the Gund, and then the Dine will summon the Gund, just like that. And that is where we are left. We didn't see any Dragoons. We didn't see any of that good stuff that we wanted to see. But luckily, Pike was able to get us an extender by way of Gund, and Teus gets us Dine. So everything sort of comes together here in the end. So that's nice. So we have this. We have a couple options. We can make Borreload. We can make Big Eye right now with these two to take the Dingirsu and just do whatever we want with it. And possibly OTK. So let's actually go ahead and do that. Yeah, let's just Big Eye the Dingirsu. Take that. We have their Dingirsu now, and then we can link these off into a copy of Sword. We'd want to put the Sword over here, assuming that maybe the Galatea is over here. We want to make sure it can be destroyed by battle, and even if it can't be destroyed by battle, you know, we can just beat into it multiple times. This is serving no purpose right now, but it is what it is. It's a free search. A chain link blocks the gun, so it is what it is. It's kind of why one reason I wanted to play Sphere for this specific reason, because a lot of times you're not ending on boards with Mermail cards, so being able just to grab a Sphere and set it for, you know, plays later on, help grind, is definitely enticing. So at this point, we'd be able to go into the Galatea, hit him with 3k, attack for 26, and then use the effect to turn to defense again to swing again, and force them to have the Orochi. And if they don't have the Orochi, they pretty much just lose the game. And we have pretty good protection, thanks to the Big Eye being able to take that Dingirsu, and we're in a pretty good spot. So yeah, that's it for that test hand. Hopefully that played out somewhat realistically. These are, again, all hypotheticals. There could be a multitude of different cards they could have. They could have hand traps. They could have like an Ash Blossom. They could have had, you know, a Go Spell for the gun, whatever it may be. You just kind of got to use hypotheticals at the end of the day and play it out that way. Because unless, you know, this is like the step prior to a live duel and the progression of learning a deck and how it would break boards and et cetera, et cetera. So I will be trying to get more live duels out in the future for you guys. So just bear with me with that. So I'm going to shuffle the deck here real quick and we'll go ahead and do another test hand. Alright, so we're going to go against a typical Salamangreat board here, and, like, one thing I want to mention, like, if they open up really fucking busted with that last hand, like, it goes with any of these decks, like, keep in mind, all hypotheticals, but if they open, like, the Babble, the Counter Trap, maybe they have an Ash Gizmek, and, like, their gravy is loaded up and have, like, the IP Masquerade play, like, that shit's going to be really hard to break, so, you got to sort of take everything with a grain of salt. These are just sort of generic ways to go through and navigate certain boards. Again, so I'm going to try to stress that as much as I possibly can without sounding too repetitive. So we're going to go against the Salamangreat board. This is our opening hand. This is our first 5 cards, and our 6th card is a copy of Teus. So typically Salamangreats do like to play a lot of hand traps, so we can assume that they might have an Ash or a Valor or maybe a DD Crow. And this card is going to come in clutch to stop in this beautiful Prismatic, looking so clean. But yeah, either way, we're going to go ahead and get started here. And their typical board will say there's going to be like the Sunlight Wolf, the Mirage Stalio, perhaps a Balinx, and then a copy of Rage or Roar with maybe a hand trap or 2 in hand, which is going to be pretty hard to break in most cases, in most decks going against it. But we'll try and make do with what we have here. So we'll go Teus, Dragoons, Chainlink 2, Chainlink 1. I mean, I could typically see them seeing the Ash here, but a player might know that Deep Sea Diva is coming off of this, so they might want to hold that. And then again, but they might also just use the Rage on it, which is a different thing. So, you know, we could start off just by going Teus discarding this and just baiting out the Roar right away, which I feel like we should do. We will have to sacrifice the Diva, but the Diva is just going to fall victim to a hand trap anyways, which is going to force the call by. So let's go the smart route here, and we'll go Teus 2, Marksman 1. We'll target their Roar. and they won't be able to negate the marksman, so they'll have to negate this. So this will get negated and destroyed, so that is unfortunate, but we'll force out the roar anyways. Then we'll follow up with a normal summon of Prince, and Prince plus any water is usually a lot to be able to go through. It'll help us get somewhere. So we'll send Dragoons, we'll add Dragoons and Megalo. Fortunately that we had to sacrifice the Teus there, but it will bait out the roar. And we'll say if they had the Ash Blossom, we'll go ahead and burn this Call by the Grave right now and tell them that we're going to continue our plays no matter what. So we're going to cut the deck here. And then we'll go ahead and continue on with our plays, which the next play would be to summon Megalo by discarding the Dragoons and the Infantry. We'll go Chainlink 3, Chainlink 2, Chainlink 1. We'll go ahead and target their Sunlight Wolf, which they'll probably go ahead and save with the Balinks and Grave, which is fine and dandy for us. So no Gazelle there. They may have Gazelle in hand, but in most cases not, but they probably would have Gazelle. So then we'll add another Sea Serpent here, which is not much that like we can add. I mean, I guess we can add Moulin Glacia right about now. That would probably be the next best thing, since we do have 5 in Grave. Moulin Glacia going second sometimes can be very handy, especially against a deck like Salamangreat, where hitting a card like the Gazelle out of their hand would be very, very beneficial. So that's all done. Now from here, we'll go ahead and summon the Moulin Glacia, and we'll knock 2 random cards out of their hand. Let's say we hit the Gazelle, we get lucky. And then we use the Megalo here to tribute this to go ahead and summon out a copy of Dragoons. We could either do that or use the Prince effect to revive the Infantry to normal summon the Dragoons to be able to get more damage on field and have a link follow up later on. So there's that. So I think we'll do that since we get the same amount of damage and we're also able to link off here. So they still have the Sunlight Wolf. They still have all that. So I think this is interesting because like we don't have a way to get a good discard in our hand for our opponent's turn. We're only going to be able to get ourselves a spell in the gate, which might not be enough, but they are down quite a few cards, and we can sort of try and take advantage of that if we want. So yeah, I'd go battle phase here. This is at 24, this is at 28, this is at 18. We can go over the Mirage Stalio, or we'd probably want to summon this here. And they might get the effect of the what is it? They might get the effect of the Sunlight Wolf, so we're gonna have to keep in mind where we put this. So maybe we don't revive this, and maybe we would just summon the Dragoons. Yeah, I think we'll just summon the Dragoons and leave this here. That way we have a good discard in hand. I think that works out much better. So we'd go over top the Sunlight Wolf, and this avoids both the zones that it may be occupying, usually maybe this side or the side, whatever. So run over the Sunlight Wolf. They've already protected with the Bailink, so that will die. We'll run over the Mirage Stalio, and we'll run over maybe the other Bailink. So they take some damage there. Then main phase 2, we're probably going to link these off into a copy of the Alacia, and then we'll equip it with the Mizuchi. So we have a negate. We have the ability to search Teus and Prince or Teus Diva on their turn, which will come in pretty handy. But yeah, the Salamangreat board is a pretty hardy board to break. They're down quite a few cards though because of Moulin Glacia. A top deck Rage or top decked Will probably won't do them anything because we can just negate it for the turn. So yeah. Yeah. Well, it says when a spell effect that was activated on your opponent's side of the field resolves, negate that effect, and send this card to the graveyard. So that effect would just be, yeah, the effect to summon would be negated. The activation of the card would be negated because it says when a spell effect, or spell effect that was activated. So we'd be able to negate that, presumably. So yeah, let's go ahead and do another going second board here and see what we can pull off. All right, so I've shuffled the deck quite a bit here, and we're going to go ahead and draw into another test hand. I apologize if I'm kind of jumbling my words a bit today. Have been quite a whirlwind of a day today. So yeah, just trying to make do with what we got here. So let's go against a Thunder board. I mean, that might be pretty tough if we don't see Gamma Seal or Mind Control. Maybe double Colossus Titan or Colossus Titan. But let's just draw into our opening hand and see what we can do. We got Pike, we got Dragoons, we got Megalo, we got Upstart Goblin. So as it stands, if we're going against a Thunder board, we pretty much don't play the game. As much as I hate saying that, not much we do. And then our 6th card is Marksman. So yeah, we'd have the upstart. Let's see. We upstart and do another Megalo. And I mean, I guess if we're going against like Thunder, this is just rough. Because like we can make Big Eye and take one of them, but they're probably in defense. Well, it doesn't really matter what the position is, because Big Eye doesn't discriminate for battle position. So we could potentially take one. But I think for the sake of just not causing too much of a headache, we'll just go ahead and play this out just as a standard going 2nd field and see what we can, you know, max out on of our potential. Because if we're playing against Thunder right now, we didn't see the 1 of 3 mind controls. We didn't see the 2 Gamma Seals. Like, that's just kind of unlucky. So we'll start with the Prince. We'll send Dragoons, add Dragoons Megalone. Again, we're not going against any specific board right now. We're just going to play against... just put up a board and see what we can put out. A typical test hand. Try not to go too overboard. So now from here, we have 3 Megalo in our hand. I guess we don't need to add this. We add Dragoons, and then we could add any other Sea Serpent. So I guess I'll add Lapis Dragon, or we could add Moulin Glacia. Yeah, we'll add Moulin Glacia. Why not? We'll add the good old Moulin Glacia. Then from here, we'll go ahead and summon this Megalo by discarding the 2 copies of Dragoons. That'll put our graveyard up to 3 waters very nicely. Then we'll add a copy of Prince and Lapis Dragon. It's fuel for our next summon. Now from here, we're going to link off the Megalo and the Prince into a copy of Alacia. I like to go into Alacia first. Then from here, we'll special summon the Moulin. We'll hit them for 2 cards. We also get to search our, what is it? Our Mizuchi. Almost forgot about that. Off the first Megalo. Now we still have a pretty decent hand here. We still can gain access to Megalo's Tribute Effect to be able to revive a Dragoons and be able to do some shenanigans there. Let's see. So next here, we'll summon the Megalo by discarding the, and this would also get summoned. My bad. So yeah, that's there. That'll get summoned. Then we'll summon this Megalo by discarding the Prince and the Marksman. We'll go Chainlink 2, Chainlink 1. Blow up a set card if they have it. And we'll summon out the Dragoons. And then we'll use Megalo's Tribute Effect to tribute this to attack twice. We'll add a Sea Serpent from a deck to our hand. And from here, I'm probably just going to add Infantry, just so we have a good discard target for our Alacia. Now, granted, we could have, instead of adding the Lapis Dragon, because this isn't doing us a whole lot, we could have added another Megalo off of that Dragoons, because we had to search the Atlantean, which was Dragoons, off the Prince, and then we get to search any Sea Serpent off the following Dragoons. So we can just go ahead and add this if we want. If we want to, like, push for extra damage, but as you can see, we are really low on resources right now, and could prove to be not too good if we don't be we're not able to get like a solid board going. At this point, I probably wouldn't even go for the other Megalo. I'd probably just hold it, just go battle phase, swing with everything we have. They're down a couple cards, and we have the ability to ditch this and search a Teus. We have a spell negate. Again, it's not much, but like we could summon the other Megalo and, you know, dump this, put more damage on, make Red Eyes Flare, which I guess is another thing we could do. So if we can't put enough damage on, we can sort of end with this, but it does cost us the rest of the cards in our hand. It just sort of hope that we can go for a game. But yeah, so that's it for that test hand. We'll go ahead and do one more test hand. All right, this time we'll try the Thunderboard again, just because that hand, we really weren't going to out a Thunderboard. Literally, our only play would have been to summon Megalo, lose all the cards in our hand, and just hope that they don't have a Titan, which in most cases they're probably going to end on at least Colossus and Titan, in some cases double Colossus Titan. So we'll play against the Thunderboard here and see what we can make happen. I'm just going to finish a good old pile shuffle, and we'll see what we can do, because the Thunderboard is the hardest board for this deck to crack. It's just because you can't search. That's the biggest issue. Turning off Surge Power to this deck pretty much kills it. That's why mating cards like Mind Control and Gamma Seal are so powerful. Going through other boards like Salamangreat and Orcust boards aren't so bad because it's kind of easy to bait out their interruptions because they're very easy to read. And oftentimes you can see them setting them up, so they're not really a surprise factor. But Thunder is just a very sturdy board that kind of stuns this deck. So we draw a Lapis Dragon, double Megalo, Mind Control, and Dine. And our 6th card is a copy of Moulin. Man, that is not a good hand. That is unlucky. We're not breaking a Thunderboard. I'm going to try one more time at a Thunderboard. One more time. I mean, granted, like, you could probably fit impermanences in here and go over 40. But, like, I just don't like the idea of going over 40. So, like, Lapis Dragon could have actually been pretty good there if we've been able to, like, see Prince. Because, you know, we could just make Brionek and bounce their field. Or the remaining cards after the Mind Control. That's why I still like really playing Lapis Dragon for Brionek, because the card is really helpful in this matchup. Alright, so let's draw into our opening hand here and see what we draw. Alright, so those are our 5 cards, and our 6th card is Gund. Easy decision on the Moray for me. We'll put these back. We still need to dig into our outs for the Thunderboard. The Colossus Titan. Going to be hard to out, to say the least. Now, playing around Titan isn't too incredibly hard. We don't really have too many effects on our own that we can chain with this deck specifically, but we can try to get into Alacia, which can try to force like a Borreload, potentially take it from there. But if we could draw like Mind Control and Gamma Seal right now, we're winning the game 100%. A very easy board to crack. We draw 1 for 1 in Lapis Dragon, and we draw Gamma Seal. So we could opt to special summon this, but I'm not going to. We drew the Gamma Seal, so that's like a really good piece to the puzzle for breaking a Thunderboard. From here, like, we could Gamma Seal the Colossus that still leaves a Titan, which they could blow up the Prince on summon, which just leaves us to follow up with the 1 for 1. So that actually could just be our saving grace right then and there. So we will Gamma Seal over top of the Colossus. So that clears that. We're able to search. We're free. Now, if we're playing against a Thunder player that knows how Mermails work, seeing that maybe we just resolve more agreed. Knowing that Prince doesn't activate on summon, I feel like saying that they Titan to blow this up on summon is a completely realistic factor. So let's say they do that. We follow up with a 1 for 1. We go ahead and summon a Prince from our deck. We're like, psych, gotcha. Now we go ahead and send Dragoons, add Dragoons, Megalo. We're fighting through this Thunderboard. We're doing it. If it's the last thing I do, we're going to fight through a Thunderboard. I know the deck is capable. I just think it's like you got to play like triple Gamma Seal, Mind Control. I think I'm only playing 2 Gamma Seal. I think going forward, I think adding a 3rd Gamma Seal in as like the 41st card is okay. Then we'll summon this, discard this. We'll add a copy of Gund, and we could add Prince. We just try to need to establish a very strong field. Infantry is going to be bad here because we can't do anything with it. We could add Moulin, but Moulin's not that good of a combo piece right now. I'm just going to add the Neptibus here. And then from this point, we can link off these two and do a copy of Alacia. And then from here, we can special summon Megalo by discarding the Gund and the Prince. We'll go Chainlink 3, Chainlink 2, Chainlink 1. All we need really here is to get a Boral Sword going, and we're good. We'll just get a Boral Sword, we're good. Then we'll special summon the Dragoons, and we could also special summon the Teus here as well, which we're going to have to because we don't have any other Mermails to summon. I'm acting if there's another option somewhere hidden. There isn't. Now, we know their Titan is in defense, but that doesn't matter too much for us. So what we could do is overlay into that big eye. Big eye coming in very clutch. We detach, we take the Titan, turn the Titan to attack position, link these off into a Boral Sword. And again, this is where having that Abyss Scale or the Abyss Sphere would be nice. And then we just go battle phase. We cut into the Gamma Seal. They take 3k, swing for 32, turn to defense, swing for game. In a perfect world, that's how that plays out. Of course, there are other factors, but again, we can only predict so much with this given setup in a test stand video. That's, of course, where the duel video takes it a step further, which, again, I will try to be getting some of those out to you guys in the future. You know, Mermails versus something, you know, Speedroids, Burning Abyss, etc., etc. All these decks that I'm doing test stands with, I'll try to get on a duel video in the future, sort of to follow up. But again, bear with me. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this test stand video. Mermail is a deck that I feel like is in a weird spot. It has been for quite some time. Like, the only changes I would make going forward would be to maybe cut this for a third Gamma Seal, and maybe add in, I don't know what else. Yeah, I think I'd probably just cut the Aqua Spirit for a third Gamma Seal, because this would help out so much more as a Gamma Seal. I like it as a level 4 extender, just to be able to make rank 4s like Bahamut Shark and things like that. But I can see it just being a brick. Granted, Gamma Seal could be a brick too, but I'd rather see Gamma Seal in an opening hand given any random board than I would Aqua Spirit, I guess. But of course, it depends on the situation. I'm liking the Phantasmes in the main. I'm liking the Mind Controls. I think the Call Buys is nice. You know, playing second, not playing second is a bit refreshing. I will admit. But yeah, hope you guys enjoyed. Hopefully we get some more support to help make Mermail a bit more consistent. I know there's some new cards coming out, like that Crystal Witch card or whatever it's called. I think that card's okay. It allows you to search Teus or Gamma Seal in the end phase, which is, again, it's okay. That's really all it is. But again, maybe we'll do some testing with that in the future. I think one of the main reasons I wanted to switch to a non-Sekka variant is because once we get Cloth Heap, this deck will be so much better to play with Instant Fusion, because you'll just be able to make like a 2-card Alacia Bahamut Toad just by opening Prince and Instant Fusion. Because a normal Prince, send Dragoons, add Dragoons, Lapis Dragon, special Lapis Dragon, and then link the Prince and the Lapis Dragon into Cloth Heap, and then you'll Instant Fusion for Mud Dragon, and then that will trigger the Cloth Heap to summon out Dragoons, and then you'll overlay, make Bahamut, detach, you know, summon Toad, and that was just off 2 cards. You still have 4 other cards in your hand because you get to search off the Dragoons. So I'm super excited for Cloth Heap. The only thing that sucks about Cloth Heap is it's not a water. But then again, at that point, you're just linking up to other monsters, like maybe the BLS link or something, which is something I might put in here as well. I might drop Waydora Whale, and I might drop Bahamut Shark, and with it maybe Toad for something else. Because I think until we get Cloth Heap, I think there's just better options. And again, I'm still going through the process of experimenting. Use my build as a template. I hope this shows you guys where the build is at currently, how it operates, etc., etc. But yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. It was Winter Kill signing out. We'll see you guys in the next one.